Hey guys, let's see if I can do this. When I was a kid, well, 10, 11, 12, I learned how to juggle. And I was decent at it. I could do 4 balls with one hand like this, and I could do 5 balls the regular way. I've gotten old and got LASIK. I have zero depth perception. I tried a little bit before I fired up the camera to do a simple 3 ball juggle. No, it's laughable. But the reason I'm doing this right now is I actually have it written on my board. I've had it written on my board for a while. This speed is a speed where I hit the cue ball the best. Not going up really slow. Not if I want to throw this 30 feet in the air, which I can't because there's a ceiling. But this speed, a little bit harder than probably what most coaches would suggest. But it's just the way I learned baseball mostly. Well, I say mostly, but that might not even be right because back in the day, my 8 ball and 9 ball, in league and stuff like that, when I lived out in Seattle, was at firm speed, usually at firm speed. But I think just as important, or maybe even more important than this speed, is the fact that I've got a little bit of a transition happening here. When I catch the ball, it's going down, and then I'm putting it up. It's not. I'm not pausing and then throwing it up in the air. Pausing, throwing it up in the air. It's like this. There's always this transition. And this is the same kind of transition that you can get on a pull shot. You can. And I wanted to talk a little bit about transitions from pulling back your final time to going forward and hitting the cue ball. I've talked about this kind of thing before. I couldn't find a damn video, so I don't know if it made it to YouTube or not, or if I just did it as a personal thing. But for me, that very brief pause that you saw, and there is one, and it's half a second at most. That's how I shoot the best, is with that. Um, it's just with that very brief pause. Everything is nice and clean. It's just like I just pulled the thing back and showed it forward. I'd have liked to make that shot. I practice this shot all the time. I shouldn't ever miss it. Often anyway. You just kind of see what's. I'm going back and I'm going forward. And to a lot of people, it might look like, oh, he jerked that, but I really didn't. If I try to come back and jerk forward, in other words, make this not a smooth transition, it's tough for me to even do it. It's hard to have a cue come back and immediately just jerk it forward. There's that little bit of transition just to shit the mass of the cue, the mass of my arm was going to even that out a little bit. And that's one of the things that I kind of find out. If I'm coming back and try to jerk it, again, that might have looked like I jerked it, but I didn't. The only way that I can have a really jerky stroke is if I have a total pause at the back. And even then, let's say Chris Mellon, one of those beautiful strokes in pool, right? Because he'll come back nice and slow, pause for what seems like an hour and a half sometimes, and then go forward on the shot. Even then, though, he's starting from stop and then going forward, but that is not an instantaneous motion. Again, the mass of the cue, the mass of the arm and all that, it's an acceleration that's happening. It's hard to have a jerky stroke. This is kind of what I'm finding. I've been having much better success the last couple of days, basically since I stopped worrying about having a pause that, onlookers could go, oh, he's got a pause. I've had much better success since I stopped worrying about that and just realized there's a pause there anyway. Even if I don't want to call this a pause, it's definitely a smooth motion. If I wanted to exaggerate just a little bit, like I've talked about Ryan O'Sullivan does, and I've seen Shane do the same thing as well, is it becomes like a more circular thing. It's a constant motion thing. And it's smooth. Well, you can do that. You can be that smooth without having to do any kind of an obvious circular motion. I'm going to try to do the circular motion here. I've found that with this, I don't have as good a speed control. I don't. Now I probably could if I messed with it long enough. You know, I missed that shot, even with an unfamiliar motion. Let's look at Alex. Alex's style, believe it or not, is pretty similar to Chris Melling's, just without as long of a backswing. I'm not sure anybody has as long of a backswing as Chris Melling. Yeah, maybe Rafael Martinez if he's still playing. But Alex will just get on a shot and just come back a little bit odd and then shove forward. Miss that shot with the Alex style. That's embarrassing. Not supposed to miss with the Alex style. That's one of the most accurate styles there is, because you only got like a 4 or 5 inch movement happening here. So that's all about getting lined up correctly, is what that is. And so apparently the 10 ball can't be made. It's a 10 ball problem. Anyway, that's still smooth because there's mass involved. In the cue and the arm, you can't just go from dead stop to 20 miles an hour, whatever it is. There's an acceleration that's happening there. So a lot of times you might hear an announcer say, well, he jerked that ball or whatever. I don't think they're saying what they mean. I don't think they mean what they're saying. Because it's tough. And boy, I don't even know. I honestly don't think I could jerk a shot, even if I tried. Because there's going to be that smoothness. And that smoothness is basically what you need. Which is handy because that's what you get. No matter what I do, it still feels like a smooth transition from complete stop to forward, or from back to forward again. It still feels like a smooth transition. What I want. That goes in, I'm hitting the road. Now, it went in, I'm not hitting the road. But that's what I want to talk about there. Just, I don't know. I have been very guilty of obsessing over physical elements because I like messing with them. I like trying to find out what works best for me, what doesn't work best for me. So I watch a lot of players, and I don't just watch, did they make the two? I watch what was their physical style as they did that. What did they do that looks like it might be hurting their game, looks like it might be helping their game, looks like something I might want to try, something I might never want to try. I've obsessed over stuff like that a lot. And I think one of the things that I need to stop obsessing over is this, well, don't jerk. Don't jerk. Because I don't think you can do it. I don't think I am capable of not having a smooth transition between back and forward. This looks fast. And what it is, because there's no cue in my hand, but I still have what muscles I have and fat and all that stuff happening here. This is still a smooth transition, and it's still smooth enough for shooting a pull shot accurately. And that's what the important part is. That's why That's why I have a channel, and that's probably why you guys are watching this channel. Thanks, guys.